So before writing any program, we need to understand whenever we get program, we should try to arrange our logic in this fashion. So I'll explain you what is exactly each means. So first thing is start. So whenever you get any program, you should create this start. It's kind of oval shape and we start it. And if we end our program, it is also oval shape and we stop or end our program. Anything we do addition or anything. One second, let me mute everyone. Okay, so whenever we want to do some calculation or we want to assign something like here s equal to 12, we create the rectangular box. And whenever we want to take something from the user, that is user put some input operation or output operation like echo something, then we use parallelogram. This is a parallelogram. Parallelogram is used for outputting anything or inputting anything. Here we are taking P, so we created parallelogram. Here we are giving the output, so we have used the parallelogram. Then if we want to do some if else condition like this if else condition, then we use this one, diamond shaped. This is called diamond shape. So whenever we want to do if else condition, we will do diamond shape kind of thing. So this way we will build our first program. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me start up. Okay, so let me read the program and then we will start building it. Okay, so the program is like this. I will type the program and then we'll go with the then we will build something like this. So let me write the program. So let us create the JavaScript file. Create one.html. In this one.html, I'll start with the script tag. And here I will write the problem. Then based on the problem, we have to build our flowchart. And based on the flowchart, we will write our the coding. So this is the example one. Write an algorithm to determine a student's final grade and indicate whether it is passing or failing. The final grade is calculated as the average of 4 marks. So this is the problem. We have to write an algorithm to determine student's final grade and indicate whether it is passing or failing. So the student is giving exam for the 4 subjects. So this is the 4 marks. So the final grade is calculated as average of the 4 marks. So student is student is giving the 4 examination or 4 subjects. So we have to take the average of the 4 marks, and based on certain rule, we will make it pass or fail. For example, we can say if average mark is less than 35, it is fail. And if average mark is greater than 35, it is pass. Or 50, greater than 50 is pass, or less than 50 is pass. So it depends on you how you want to deal with it. So before so first part is something we can write the pseudocode also. We can put it in the flowchart also, or we can put here as a pseudocode also. So if I want to put the pseudocode before even going to a flowchart, I will do like this. Pseudocode, what do you mean by pseudocode? Pseudocode means it is not the real programming code. It is in human language. We define the problem. So whatever we think, we define it in human language. So for example, here I will say input a set of 4 marks. Since we want to calculate the average, so we should need the 4 marks. So first step is to take the 4 marks from the user. Second step, calculate the average of 4 marks. First step is we will capture the 4 marks of the user. Let's say user is has taken 50 in English, 60 in maths, 70 in science, and 80 in social science. So we will take all these numbers and we will calculate the average. How to calculate the average? Average means we will add all the 4 marks and we will divide by 4. So what is the formula to calculate the average? Formula to calculate the average. This is something you should read in mind. This is not to be written here. Everyone should know how to calculate the average. So average will be, let's say, marks 1 plus marks 2 plus mark 3 plus mark 4 divided by 4, because we have 4 elements. So this is called the average. Average means they will take each mark and then they will divide by 4. So this is the formula to calculate the average. So we are not writing it because everyone should know what is the formula to calculate average. So what is the first step? We take the 4 marks. What is the second step? We calculate the average of the 4 marks. What is the third step? What we have to do? We have to say if average is less than 50, for example, then we have to print fail. Else, if average is greater than 50, we have to print pass. If it is less than 50, average is less than 50, we will print fail. If it is greater or equal to 50, we will print pass. So this is the 3-step process, which is a very small program. We will just try to build this is our pseudocode. Pseudocode means we will write something which is not the programming, but we will write in general terms. And let's build the algorithm in the flowchart for this one. So this is the first part we did. Now, still, if we want to more in detail, I can write more, algorithm here kind of thing, which we will do in the flowchart also, but let's write down here also. So what is the step 1? Take the input as M1, M2, M3, M4. So we have to take this all input of the user, that is marks 1, marks 2, marks 3, marks 4. This is the first step. We take the input. What is the step 2? Step 2 is grade is equal to, we will grade it. Grade will be equal to M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4 divided by 4. This is called grading. And then I will say step 3, if grade is less than 50, then print fail, else print pass. So this is my algorithm, which we will do in the flowchart also. This is our pseudocode. What is the pseudocode? It is not the real programming. We just try to figure out what we will do. So what it is saying, write an algorithm to determine the student's final grade. So final grade is something we take the average of our 4 marks and indicate whether it is passing or failing. So we take the 4 marks, we calculate the average, and if average is less than 50, we print fail, else we print pass. So this program is written in this format, and then we will do it in the flowchart. Now we are done with this algorithm in the written form, and now we will go with the flowchart. So let's go to the flowchart. So this is my blank flowchart. So first thing we have to start it. So I will add this one. So this is the first one. So we have to start. So always start with the oval box. Okay, so this is my start. Then we have to take the input parameter. So whenever we have to take the input parameter, we will use parallelogram. Or whenever we want to output it, we will use parallelogram. So let's use a parallelogram. So where is the parallelogram? Okay, so they are giving like this one. It's okay. This form is also okay. Or we have parallelogram. This is a parallelogram. Let's use the parallelogram. Yeah, this one is fine. So here we have to say input of M1, M2, M3, and M4. What we are doing? We are taking input. I am not able to enter. Okay, just let it be. I'm not able to put it in the new line by putting enter. So what is the first step? We took the input. Now what is the second step? We have to grade it. We have to take the grade. So to take the grade, we will use rectangular one. And what is the grade? Grade is equal to M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4 divided by 4. So this is called the grade. Now what we have to do? We have to check if grade is less than 50 or not. So to check, we use the diamond shaped. And where is the diamond shaped here? I don't see diamond shaped. Yeah, it's a parallelogram only, but it is, yeah, this one. So here I have to use like this, is grade less than 50. So what is the theory? What is the if condition? Whenever you want to build a if condition, you will use the diamond shape. And we are saying if is grade is less than 50. And then we will take the arrow on the both sides. Like this, one side will be so this is the one side, and this is the another side. So here I will say yes, grade is less than 50. So I will put Y mark. This is the first time and we are doing in the computer, so it will take time. But in real world, you will do in the notepad. This is something you have to do in the notepad. So it will be quicker. Just so I want to show you, that's the reason it is taking time to complete it. N. So whenever we start programming, we start like this. We try to build something like this. So this is called the Lucid chart, which is a Chrome extension. I install it and I can build this graph. So here I have to say if condition, that is its grade is less than 50. If it is yes, I will go on this side. If it is no, I will go on this side. So what I have to do here, if it is less than 50, I have to print the things. So for printing, I can use output is also like this, but some people prefer to use this to give the output. So let's put one output here and let's output second here. So if it is less than 50, I will say print fail. And if it is grade is greater than 50, so I will say print pass. And then I will build one more oval that will be called as stop. That means my program ends. So this is a very simple problem, and then also we have to build so much big kind of thing to understand the thing. Let's finish up the things. Let's do some finishing. So okay, so that's okay for now. Okay, two more. One more. Okay, so this is my final chart. So I start it, I take the input, I take the grades, and I say if grade is less than 50, you have to print fail, and if grade is less than greater than 50, I print pass and we stop it. So this is our whole program which we will build in JavaScript. So this is something algorithm we put. This is the pseudo code which we put, and now we will build our real program. So let's say I will create a function called as main, and inside main I will do all my logic and calculation. So first thing is take the input. I'm not going to take input from any user. I will just declare the variables that is called input. So I will say m1 equal to, for example, 45, var m2 equal to 47, var m3 equal to let's say 74, var m4 equal to let's say 90. So that means in the subject 1, the student got 45, in the subject 2, student got 47, in the subject 3, student got 74, in the subject 4, student got 90 marks. Now I will calculate the grade. So to calculate the grade, I will say var grade is equal to m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4 divided by 4. That means I took all the marks and divided by 4 to get the average of the score. So my second step is also done. Now I put the condition. If grade is less than 50, I will say console.log you failed. Else I will say console.log view passed. And then I will call this function from outside the function. So when I call this function, it will go through all the steps and it will take all the values. It will calculate the grade, and based on the grade, it will say passed or failed. So let's run this one. Okay, my PHP is not running. Okay, let's go to the command line developer tools. So it's saying you passed because I have all the passing results. Let's try to fail the user. I will put 5, 23. Let's try to see now what happens. It's saying you failed. So if I have marks less than 50, I am displaying it as fail. But if I have marks greater than 50, I am displaying it as pass. So this is the short example how we are going to write our program. So whenever I will give you the program, you have to build the chart like this. Chart like this. In the maybe take a notebook and pen and try to build the chart like this, and just show me by scanning the scanning the chart and send me through email so that I can know whether you have done it correctly or not. So this one was the first program which we did in the JavaScript. So I will put this in the chat so you can practice it later time. We will do tomorrow some more JavaScript program, and after a couple of days I will give you some homework also which you have to do and build a chart through Notepad and email me whenever you get time. So you have to build similar kind of chart for every program. So let's say if you are doing 100 program, you should build this chart for 100 programs. Though it's difficult to build in the computer, it takes time. So you can take a notebook and pen and build the flow chart. And whenever we will do, we will build a chart and we will do the program so that you should understand. After 2030, it will be little faster. Though in computer it is difficult, it's taking time for me to create it. But when it's the notebook, it will be very fast. So always try to build this chart, which is easy to understand, and you will understand how the things are going. Is this clear? You have to unmute yourself and then say. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, let's.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we will move to our CSS part. Today's CSS part. So yesterday we saw this is the page which we will use a lot when we do our JavaScript programming. So this page has a lot of mathematics function which is inbuilt in JavaScript. So just to keep a note of it, we will be using it often when we try to make more programs in JavaScript. So let's try to go do now CSS quickly. So I will create one file 7.html. Create 7.html and then I will select all and I will choose HTML5. So let's build something for you to understand what we are trying to do. Yesterday we did floating, and today we will see, first we will see floating again, and then we'll see the, I told you there is one similar property which can be used instead of floating. So let's try to do first floating and then try to replace it with that property. So let's say I build something here. I will say a floating div, and here I will build some div. I will say div class. Let's I will say my class 1. I'll create my class 1. and here I will say hello world, and I will try to copy it multiple times. After I put multiple times, I will put some text called as another hello world, something like that, and I will name it as my class 2. Okay, so let's go to the split view so we can see. So here is my hello world, and here is another hello world in the bottom, and we have my class 1 for hello world and my class 2 for another hello world. So let's create two classes in the CSS. My class 1, my class 2. We'll try to build the CSS now for these two. So I will go with the my class 1, and I will say edit. So once I say edit, now I will put some properties. So for each one, let's say I will say maybe width is equal to 150 pixel, 150 pixel, and height will be, let's say I'm saying 75 pixel for each of this my class 1, and I will say maybe I will give some border. Style will be solid, width will be for example 3 pixel, and color, let's say red, choose red color, and I'm saying width and height, and I will also say float of left, and I will click apply. So when I apply hello world, you will see each hello world is having the box. Let's give the margin also little bit margin of, let's say 5 pixels, so that box goes, there is a space between the each box. So what we are doing, float. When I put the float for the first div, second div come on the right side, third div come on the right side, fourth div come on the right side. This way we arrange all our boxes. But what happened to the last div? It also comes on the right side of the div, which I don't want. I want this hello world, another hello world should come below all the boxes. So to make it below all the boxes, I will create my class 2 with some properties like this. I will edit it, and I will say clear. I can say clear left, or I can say clear both. Both are okay. Clear both means I am clearing left and right part. But if I say only clear left, that means it is clearing only the float left. Since we have only float left, I can safely say clear left. When I say clear left, you will see my another hello world goes after all the div to the next line. So this is something what I was expecting it. I want this another hello world to come in after the all the boxes. So what we used the float property, and we used the clear property. So we used two properties to make it work. Now let's try to make same thing with one property. So I will save it as 8.html. Now here I will remove this clear left of the my class 2. So you will see another hello world come on the right side of the box. And now what change we will do, instead of float, we will do something different. Let's delete the float left. Once I delete float left, you will see each box is in its own line, and it has the width which I specified. If I give float, everyone will come on the right side of it. But now instead of float, since I don't want to use clear after that, so instead of the float, I will use display of inline block. This is the new property introduced in the CSS, which was not there previously. It is called inline block. Since it is new property, Dreamweaver is not able to understand it. So let's try to run it in the browser. So in the browser, if I run it, you will see it is working, behaving as float left. It is behaving like float left, but another hello world is coming on the new line. That means I don't have to use the clear after all the div. In the previous case, what I was doing, I was using, let's open the previous one again to understand. In the previous one, what I was doing, I was using float left and clear left for the new div. But in the new case, I am not using float, I am using display inline block. When I say inline block, it is a combination of float and clear. So we don't need to use clear for the second div, which comes after all the divs. We have to just use inline block. It will work like a float, and we don't need to use the clear in the next class. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. So if I want to write the notes, I will write simply, I will say CSS, I will say use float left and clear left, or use display inline block. So either of these two you can use. You can use float and clear left, but just an addition to that, you should be aware of this new property of the CSS. So that's it for today's CSS inline block. We will see more CSS tomorrow. A lot of CSS we'll see this week and next week before we start putting the CSS in the real project. Now let's go to our PHP project. So in the PHP, what was the remaining? So we saw the login. Have you practiced login, register, and log out?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yesterday's video was not very good kind of thing. Quality was little shaky in between. I checked in the YouTube, but it is actually, but you can view and you can understand it. But it is not very good as we have other videos. But at least it is working good. So
I'm
let's,
seeing some flashing again today.
yeah, maybe this is temporary computer I got for 1 week. Maybe this has some different display card. That's the reason you are able to see that. So next week my original computer will come and you won't see it. You're getting it? This is my son's computer. He took my computer and he went for vacation, and I'm using his computer. Okay, so you will be, his computer is uh, actually very costly compared to my computer because he play games in it. But I don't know why flashing is coming in his computer. But in my computer it was good. So tomorrow from Monday you won't see that flashing kind of thing. But today little bit flashing will be there. But at least you can watch it and you can practice it. Okay, let's go to the.
It's flashing so that it's like a game.
It's like a game. Okay. Okay. So let's try to work on the restrict access to the page. So it has many parameters. Let's do one by one. If I open the login.php, the one which we did yesterday, and in that I saw if user successfully logged in, I go to login success.php, and if user successfully, if user does not put email password success right, it goes to login failure.php. Let's try to test this condition once more. I will run this login page and I will say abc@mkgalaxy.com and I'll put the password. I'm putting wrong password, so it goes to login fail. Let's say if I put right password, go to login success page. Now let's open and try to do the different thing. So once we are logged in, let's create some pages. Okay, I will create one page, new file. I will say this is called as public page. So I will say public.php. So everyone can access this public page, even if the user is logged in or not. I will say public page. All users can view this page. Okay, this is a public page. Let's try to see the public page. See, I am able to see the public page. Now I will create another page called as member page. I will save it as member page, member.php. That means if user is not logged in, he won't be able to see it. This is called member page. Only members can see me. I will go to the login.php. For now, I will use only username and password. I don't want to show access level now, so I'm just using username and password. So let's use only username and password. I don't want to use the access level now. Okay, so I'm not taking the access level. So let's run this again. So before running the login page, I will run the logout page so that I am logged out of the page. I don't want to make me log out. So once I page this member.page, how do the Dreamweaver know that this is a member page and he should not allow any outsider to go into this page? So we have to put some server behavior here that will say, okay, don't allow unlogged in user. So how to add the server behavior? I will click the server behavior and I will go to user authentication and I will say restrict access to page. That means this page is restricted. Only members should be allowed. I will say restrict access to page. So if in the login page, I have used this first part that is called username and password. Then in the member.php page, if I go to the user authentication and click the restrict access to the page, I have to use this first part. I cannot use the second part. If in the login page, I have used the second part, then here also I have to use the second part. So both should match. If I'm using username and password in the login page, here also I have to use username and password. If in the login page I have used username, password and access level, then here also I have to use username, password and access level. Right now we are testing the first part, username and password. So don't take this one, only take the first one. And here we will say if access denied. That means if user is not a member and tries to access this page. That means if user is not logged in and tries to access this page, we have to send back user to some page. For example, restrict.php page. I will create this restrict.php page and I will create a new page called as restrict.php page, and here I will say restricted area. You try to access unauthorized page. Okay, so the user will go to restrict page. So this is the member page. Only logged in user can go to this page. If user is not logged in and try to go to this page, what will happen? It will be redirected to this restrict page where it will be say restricted area. You have try to access unauthorized page and user will not be able to go to the member page. And whatever in the login user, if I have selected the first part, same thing in the member.php, I have to select the first part and here I have to give the page name where user should be sent to if user is not authorized to use the page. Let's try this. Since I am logged out, okay, it's saying login successful. Let's go to logout again. Maybe I'm logged in or logged out. I don't remember. Since I'm logged out, if I go to member page, it's redirecting me to this page. Restricted area, you try to access the unauthorized page. Now, let's try to log in and then try to go to member.php page. So let's log in. I'm successfully logged in. Now let's try to go to the member.php page. So I'm now able to access the member page. That means if I'm logged in, I'm able to go to the member page. And if I'm not logged in, I'm not able to go to login page. Now to I'll write down the basic steps what I did. In login page, I use username and password. So if I go to the login page, I have two options. Either I can choose first one or I can choose the second one. Right now we are dealing with the first part. In the login page, I use username and password. Then second step, create member page and attach restrict access server behavior. And here choose the first option, that is username and password. What I did, I created member page, I attached the restrict access to page server behavior, and I did the username and password part, not the second part.
But there is a problem.
What is problem?
Oh, how can I know the member page, the username and password is all from form 1, the first table?
Okay,
Because
see here,
our login PHP
yeah,
page is
here we don't have to define whether it's an email or whether it's a password. Here only we have to define whether in the login page, forget about this first part, this top part. Only concentrate on the last part. In the last part, I am saying restrict access based on username and password, or restrict access based on username and password and access level. If I have chosen username and password here, irrespective of username is email or username is some different field, don't mix both the things. This is only to check in the database. This is only the method used to restrict the access. So it's up to you. If you have admin pages, you will use this one. If you don't have admin pages, you will use this one. So if you have used this part, that is called restrict access based on username and password, then when you go to member.php page, you have to choose the first part.
Oh, I see. Because they are under the same folder. I mean the login page and the member page. They are in the same folder. So
they can be in different folders. Let's say right now if they are in the basics folder, you can put it in another folder. They should be in the one website. But the thing is that if you choose this one, if you choose restrict access based on username and password, then whenever you created all the member pages, there may be 100 of member pages. In all member pages, you have to choose this first part. Just remember this one. Don't remember any other thing, email, password, database. Don't remember now database for this part. Database is not related to this one. Just remember, if you created login with username and password, then all the member pages, all the restrict access to pages should have the top one, username and password. It should not be this one. Every time you have to create with this one. So just link this restrict access server behavior with the login server behavior, that whenever you have to choose the first top one, then you have to select in the member page, you have to select the top one. So just match the two things. Don't worry about database now. Okay. So what I say, I created the login page. Now I create member pages. It can be 1 or 100 or 1000. You may have 100 pages for the member, or you may have 1000 pages for the member. N number of pages you can have for the member. In all the pages, you have to attach the restrict access server behavior, and choose the first option, username and password. Why you are choosing the first option? Because in the login page, you choose the first option. Both should match. This should match with this. Okay, in both the case, just remember it should be same. It cannot be different. If you put different, it will not work properly. And then create restrict page for unauthorized users. Sometimes user go and just put in the URL member.php. So unauthorized users. So create a restrict.php page for unauthorized user and just give some message, dummy message. You try to access unauthorized page. Here we don't put any server behavior. In the public page also we don't put any server behavior. Only in the restrict page, in the logout page we put, in the member page we put restrict access to the page. So if I'm logged in with this second parameter, then what I will do? Then in the member.php page, I can use the second one. But right now I'm not using the second one. I'm using the first one. So I have chosen the first part. And in the login also, I have chosen the first part. Before going to the second part, let's try to experiment this part. Go to previous URL. To understand this go to previous URL, let's log out from the website again. So I am logged out of the website now. Okay, so if I go to member page, I am not allowed to use the page. Okay, now in the member page, I can also say if user is not logged in, send him to the login.php page. Can I say this? Instead of sending it to restrict.php page, I can send him to login page. Can I do this?
Yes.
Yes, because I don't want it sent to restrict page to show the message, but I will send him to login page that if you want to access this page, just go to the login page, log in with your detail and come back again. So instead of in the member page, instead of putting restrict.php page, I will use login.php page. That means if user is not logged in and try to log in and try to enter in this member page, I will redirect him to the login page. Okay, let's do this. Let's click OK and save it, and I will try to preview in the Chrome. See, since the user is not logged in, I try to access this member page. Where it is was redirected to now? Login page. Where it is redirected? It is redirected to which page? User is redirected to which page?
Login success.
No, login. No, I'm saying if I access the member.php page, if I'm accessing member.php page, since user is not logged in, where will user go?
Oh, restrict.
I remove the restrict part.
Failed.
I remove the failed part. Because
login.
login.php.
Yeah.
I am on the member.php page. Since I am not logged in and I try to access in the Chrome, where will the user go? User will go to the login. So let's try again. I go to Chrome. User is redirecting to login PHP. Now, if I go to login page, here it's saying go to previous URL. That means if I put successfully my email and password, that is, for example, I put successfully my username and password, then what it is saying, go to the previous URL. Previous URL means member.php, because I started with the member.php. So that means if user is accessing any page which is member or member restricted, then it will go to the previous URL where from user came. So initially where I was going to the member.php page. And since I am not logged in, I was redirecting it to login.php page. And in the login.php page, I have mentioned go to the previous URL after the success. After the success, where should I go? After success, I should go to member.php page. Right. So let's try to put the information here. I put correct this one. If I click login, where will it go? Whether it will go to login success.php or whether it will go to member.php.
Member.
Carry, where it will go?
Member,
Member. Why it will go to member?
because you logged in successfully.
No, but why it will go to member? Yesterday it was going to success.
Previous.
Previous page, because today I started with member.php in the URL. Yesterday I started with the login.php directly. Today where I went first? I went to the member.php. Since I was not logged in, I was redirected to the login.php page. And in the login.php, if I put successful email and password, I will be redirected to the previous page. Previous page means member.php. So it is going to member.php rather than login success. It's a little confusing. Let's try to recollect again. I think something happened to my viewer. Some database problem. Let's try to do it again in the notepad so you will be clear on this one. Little tricky, but once you understand it, I created login page. When I put successfully my email and password, I was going to the login success page. But if I was not putting correct email and password, I was going to login failure page. And now I created member 1 page, for example, and I created another page member 2.php. Now, if I go to directly to the login page, then if I do successfully my email and password, I will go to login success page. But if I type in the URL member1.php, if I type member1.php, since I am not logged in, it will be redirected to which page?
Restrict.
It will be redirected to the login page. Because I put login.php in the member1 restrict access. Okay. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Something. I don't know what happened to Dreamweaver. Okay, so my login.php has login server behavior and it is saying go to previous URL if it exists. Remember different things. In the member.php, I have the restrict access to the page and it is saying go to the login.php. I'm not putting restrict.php now because I just want to show you how to go to previous URL. That's the reason I'm not putting restrict.php. I'm sending them to login.php. So if user is not logged in and if he tries to access the member.php, then I send him to login.php. Similarly, let's say I create two pages. One is member1.php and member2.php. In the both the pages, I added a server behavior called as restrict access. And in the restrict access, I always give the URL of login.php. That means if user directly goes to member1.php and he's not logged in, redirect him to the login.php. And when he will go to the login.php, if we successfully log into our website, then don't go to the login success page, go to the member 1 page or member 2 page, that is from where user has come. Let's try to do again this process. I will create two files. One is called member1.php. This is member1 page, and I will create another page called as member2.php, and I will say it is called member2. And in the both the pages, that is member1 and member2, I will add the server behavior that is called restrict access to the page. And in the restrict access to page, I will give if access denied, go to login.php. And in the member2 also, I will add the behavior restrict access to the page, and here I will say go to login.php. In member1 and member2, we have restrict access. That is, only members can access it. Members mean who has login to our website. And if user is not logged into our website, that means let's log out the user. That means if user is not logged into our website, and if he tries to access member2, where will user go? If I try to access member2, where will be I redirected to, because I am not logged in?
Login.
Login.
Login. That's correct. Let's go. I am in the login page. Now, if I put my wrong email and password, where will be I redirected to?
Failed.
Login failed, because I have put wrong. I put wrong email and password. But if I put right email and password, where will be I redirected to?
Member2.
Member2, because previous URL was member2. I'm in the member2. Let's do again this exercise. Let me log out. Now, if I go to member1, where will be I redirected to? I'm not logged in.
Failed.
Login.
Login.
Oh,
So I am redirected to login.php page, and I will put right email and password. Where will be I redirected to now?
Member1.
Member1. Why? Because the previous URL is member1. Because in the URL I put member1. So I will
Yeah.
send to user to member1. Are you getting me?
What
How
about
does-
you open login PHP first?
If I open login, let's
Yeah.
log out first. Okay, let's log out first, because, and if I open login.php first, let's say login.php,
Uh-huh.
or let's try from here.
Yeah.
Let me go to the login.php, and if
I
I
mean-
put now correct email and password,
Yeah.
then it should go to login
Success.
success. It's going
Oh.
to okay. The reason is it's going to member1, because it saved, because few minutes back I went to member1, and
Yeah,
it
I think
saves
so.
the thing in the it saves the thing in the memory, and it does not remove that in the memory. So
I see.
if we have clear, let's say if I close the browser and try again, then it will. Okay, let's try to do logout again, and because it is saved in the session, so even though if I do multiple thing, it will be in the memory of the browser. So let's do. I'll do again, and I will show you again. So I have to close the browser. Let's close the browser and try again. Okay, now I'm on the login page. Now if I put, still it's going. It's saving in the. Okay, let's see where it is saving it.
Saving in the
Uh,
server.
it is saving in the session, but session is
Mm.
not clearing. I need to clear the session forcefully. Sometimes session does not clear automatically. It is cached kind of thing. Let's forcefully clear the cookie and cache. Okay, let's do this one.
In the browser, right?
I will go to the login again. Yeah, it should be now cleared. Let's try now. Now if I log in, it should go to the login success, because I cleared the cache and cookies. Not clear right now. Okay. Let's try to do more research on it. I want to send him to login success because it is where we let's delete all. Okay, let's delete and then we'll try. Okay, let's delete all. Okay, now I will go to login.php page. Yeah, now it's going because it was not cleared from the session. Browser takes the browser takes it in the memory, but that's the reason it goes to the previous URL again and again.
Okay.
Okay, so just remember that we need to, for testing, I need to clear exactly all the sessions, close it and restart it. Maybe what was happening, my member1.php was open, and in that it calls, it put it in the session kind of thing. Let's try to experiment with, okay, let's go to logout again. Okay, let's try to go member2 page. Let's see where exactly we can clear the session. So I'm going to the member2. I'll close this. Let's try to log out. Okay, I'm logged out. Let's try to close browser now and try to open it. Let's try to see if now everything is gone or there. Okay, that means it is, even though it is closed, maybe it's not removing the sessions properly. Generally, previously browser used to clear the session kind of thing, but maybe it's currently saving it in the session unless I maybe restart the computer or for some kind of thing activity, I clear it the cache kind of thing. So, okay, so if I directly go to member page, so it is saving it in the session and maybe Chrome is not clearing the session. Let's try to do same thing in the in the fire in this IE. Let's try to do same thing. Maybe nowadays all behavior behaves same way. Let's try then. So we'll try. Let's see. I'm in the member2. Now let's do the logout and log out. And if I try to do ABC, it's saving it. Now let's do again logout 2 and I'll close it and I'll restart it. I'm logged out. Let's close it. Let's restart it. And I will say login. And then now I'll try to put. Yeah, so IE is removing the from the session as soon as I'm closing it. Maybe Google has modified it. Even though I'm closing it, it is keeping in memory, because anyhow, if I open the task manager, I think this Google is not closing some history and it is saving in that Chrome maybe. So that's the reason in Google Chrome, I was able to go to member2 even though I closed the browser and restarted it. In reality, session should go away. I should not have any session variable. In IE, we can see that X performance perfectly same, whatever I told you. But with Google, I think it is saving the session. Even though I close the browser, it is somehow keeping some Google Chrome part open, and it is keep saving the session there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason in the Chrome we are not able to in the Chrome, we are not able to see the proper behavior. Okay, so what we did, we completed the go to previous URL, we completed username and password. Now we have some pages which is for admin only. Okay, so I will say admin page. So this should be accessed only by admin, not by other people. It should be accessed by only admin, not by member, not by. So if I have admin pages on my website, I need to change the login user behavior from username and password to username, password and access level. And here I have to choose the access level from the database, and the database has access level, this access level, and I have to say OK. So if my website has admin and member both, then I will use this second part. But if I don't have any admin pages, then I can use only the first part. I will not use the second part. And in the second part, we have to keep one field access level in the database, and I have to choose that access level here from the database, which is the field for the access level, and I will click OK. So once I change from top part to bottom part, I have to go to all the pages and I have to change the restrict access to second point, not the first point. Since my login user changes to the from the first to second, so my all the pages will be changed from first to second. Since I changed in the login page, I changed from first to the second part, that is instead of username and password, I am using username, password and access level. That means I changed the method. So I have to go to all the pages and I have to change the second part. And here I have to define who can access this page. Okay, I can say member can access this page and admin can access this page. So I am saying this page can be accessed by member and admin. So whoever has admin in the database can access this page, and whoever has member can access this page. So I have to define the access level who can access this page, and I will click OK and then click OK. So my member page can be accessed by member and it can be accessed by admin. If I go to database, so let's say if I have two users and if we see access level of both the users here, in the first time it will be little difficult, but when you will make it, or when you will you will practice it more, you will understand it easily. So both have access level of member. Let's make one of them as admin. So now if you see, one of them is admin, one of them is member. In your real website, there will be many members and only one admin. Right now, I don't have many members, so I can only show you one admin and one member. So tell me one thing, this member.php, I give the access level to member and admin both. So I have to select both. I give the access level to member and admin both. Whether user 1 can access this member.php page, whether this member.php page can be accessed by the user 1, yes or no?
Yes.
Whether second user can access this page,
Yes.
yes. The reason is I chose member and admin, both the things. That's the reason. Whoever has admin access level can see this page, and whoever has member access level can see this page. So both the users can view this member.php page. Let's go to member2.php. Here I will change to the second part method and I will choose both the things. I will say OK. That means member and admin both can access this page. But whether logged out user can see this page? Whether
No.
user, no, because this is restricted. Let's go to the member one. I will choose the second method and I will press the control key and select both the levels and click OK. So it's member and admin. So whether member can access this page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Whether admin can access this page?
Yeah.
Yes. Now let's go to the admin.php. Let's add the server behavior restrict access to page. And in this page, I will only choose the admin. I will not select the member. And here, if user is not admin, I will change the user to restrict.php. So now tell me whether member can access this page?
No.
No.
No, because we have given access only to admin. Whether admin can access this page?
Yeah.
Yes. Whether logged out user can access this page?
No.
No.
No, because I give this username and password and I give only admin permission to access this page. Now let's try to see whether we are on correct path or not. Okay, let me create one index.php file. And in this file, I will give the links to different page. Let's say if I want to go to login page, if I want to go to logout page, if I want to go to member one page, if I want to go to member two page, if I want to go to admin page, if I want to go to member page. Let's give the link for each one. I can also select this one and drag to login one after selecting the login. So first I can select this login and I can drag to login. I can select the logout. I can drag to logout. I can select the member. I can give the link by dragging it to member. I can select member to one. I can drag to member one. I can select the member two. I can drag to member two. I can select the admin and I can drag it to admin.php. So this is my general menu page, for example. I'll open this page. So first logout. I'm in the logged out page. Now if I go to admin page, whether I can be able to see it, yes or no?
No.
No, because I am logged out. Let's go. I'm in the restricted page. If I click member one, whether I can see that page right now or no?
No.
No, because I am logged out. Okay, let's try to log in as a member. So who is the member? I will see the user. Second user is a member. So I will log in as second user, ABC123. I am not logging in as a member access level. Sorry, by mistake I put wrong password. I'm in the member one. Let's go to index page again. Now whether I can access member page? Whether I can access member page? I am member, access
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
member. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm able to access it. Whether I am able to access
Two.
member one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Member two?
Yeah.
Yes. Admin?
No.
So it's going to restricted area. Though I'm logged in, it's not allowing me to access the admin page because I don't have the access of admin. Now I will log out. Now I will log in as a first user, that is admin. Okay, let's go to index page again. Whether I will be able to access member page?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Member one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Member two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Admin?
Yes.
Yep.
Because I have the access level of admin. So here you can see access level of admin is there. So admin can access all the pages which I have given admin permission. Members can access all the pages which member has permission, and logged out user cannot use any of the restricted page. If you want user to access this page, all users should access this page. If it is a public page, then don't add this restrict access server behavior. Restrict access server behavior is only used to restrict the user to access the page. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I did lot of practice today. Maybe we will see more when we will build our real website. So you will understand, and by tomorrow you should practice this again and again so that you should be, familiar with all the concepts. So what we did today, we did this part, restrict access to the web page. We did. I have not written all the notes here. Maybe you can watch the video again and try to write down something. So here we saw go to previous URL. We saw access using username and password. And we also saw access using username, password, and access level. Also remember, if in the login page you are using username and password, then in all the pages you have to use username and password for the restrict access. But if in the login page you are using username and password and access level, then in all the page try to use the username and password and access level. Okay. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we will do master and detail page, and we will try to use more JavaScript functions as we did today. We'll be doing a lot of such exercises in JavaScript, because when you go for interview, they will ask you a lot of JavaScript problems. So you should be aware of all the basic idea of how to deal with the JavaScript program. So that's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Manny.
you. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.